An absolutely massive title eliminator in the welterweight division is official as the main event of UFC London. Leon Edwards versus Jack Della Maddalena. Awesome fight. Huge step up in competition for Jack Della Maddalena. Possibly a #1 contenders fight, probably just for Jack Della Maddalena. But that, along with some really good fights, were announced for UFC London in March. In this video, we're going to talk about these fights and I'll give you a few predictions and my thoughts on the card. So stick around to hear my thoughts on UFC London. I'm Wyatt and this is Fight Society. Before we get into the video, guys, please make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, all that good YouTube stuff. It really helps me out a lot. If you want to support the channel further and you want access to bonus content like members-only live streams, become a channel member through the link in the description of this video or the join button on our channel homepage. Thank you very much. Back to the video. Okay, so we have an absolutely massive matchup for the main event of UFC London. We have Leon Edwards coming off of losing his title to Belal Muhammad at UFC 304, going up against huge, big time, really promising prospect Jack Della Maddalena. Fight night main event, Jack Della Maddalena got a win at UFC 299 in March against Gilbert Burns, broke his arm, got a bone infection, all these different things. So by the time this fight happens, it's going to be a full calendar year since we have seen Jack Della Maddalena. But I'm glad that if he's going into a fight like this, he's fully healed up and such. There's a few other great fights on this card. We also have Jan Blachowicz, Carlos Ulberg as the co-main event currently. I could see a Paddy Pimblett fight getting slipped in there as a co-main event, and then that would bump Blachowicz and Ulberg further down the card. But that's a great fight. Possibly decides who fights the winner of Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. And then aside from that, we have Molly McCann, hopefully finds a win because she's probably going to get cut if she loses again. And then we also have Nathaniel Wood going up against Morgan Charrier. Banger of a matchup. That's going to be fireworks. And then we also have Jai Herbert, Chris Padilla. That's a good matchup. We also have formerly ranked in the top 15 coming off of a loss to Carlos Ulberg, Alonzo Menefield going up against rising French prospect Umar Sy. He's really good, very strong, very physical, especially in a very physical 205 division. We also have Tom Aspinall training partner, 15 ranked Mick Parkin, getting a huge jump up, fighting Marcin Tybura, who's ranked 8th, coming off of a loss to Sergey Spivak. Mick Parkin could put himself in the top 10 and be 1 or 2 wins from a title. This could create friction if Tom Aspinall is champion still in about a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. But Mick Parkin's really good. We could be seeing a UK versus UK former training partners type of title fight in like 2 years if Tom Aspinall is still champion by the time Mick Parkin gets up around there, if he can keep winning. Then we also have Loner Kavanaugh against Felipe Dos Anjos, who is a shootbox Charles Oliveira teammate. Really good fight. CLD against a Russian that I've never heard of, but CLD is really good, fan favorite. A lot of the fans like him. Should be a banger. Good bounce back for him. I think he's coming off of a loss. And then we also have Shauna Bannon, who's okay, going up against Pooja Tumar, who's also okay. Callan Loughran and Nathan Fletcher. That's a really good matchup. Callan Loughran coming off of a good win in his last fight. But what I really want to talk about are the top 2 fights. That's what I really want to get into. First off is the main event. That is Leon Edwards versus Jack Della Maddalena. As much as I like Leon Edwards, and I think this is an okay matchup for him, he's finally going up against somebody who's not very grappling heavy. He's still going up against a really tough, hungry prospect. Leon, coming off of losing the belt, might be a little bit jaded towards the idea of winning 2, 3, 4 more fights to get back to a title shot, whereas JDM hasn't gotten there yet, and he's coming off of an injury. And he's so tough, whereas Leon, when fights get tough, he starts to fade. Leon succeeds in fights when he wins the first round, puts that one in the bank, and then coasts and just edges out these point decisions where the fight doesn't get too hard. When things get really rough, grueling, a lot of wrestling, high pace like the Belal Muhammad fight, he has a hard time. He starts to check out. Jack Della Maddalena is all pressure the whole fight. We'll see how he does in 5 rounds. But all pressure, forward, good with the hands, doesn't fade when the going gets tough. He was almost losing. He almost lost to Gilbert Burns and then still got the finish. Really tough fight against Basil Hafez. He's been through adversity and he's come out with wins against tough competition, very tough and game competition. And so that's why I think in this fight, I'm going to take Jack Della Maddalena. I would say by decision if it was more of like a grappling heavy approach, but given that he's such a striker, I'm going to say like round 4 stoppage. Like I have an idea, I have a vision of Jack Della Maddalena finishing Leon with like heavy body shots and boxing up against the fence in like round 4 where Leon's just been beat up really badly. So it's going to be a close fight for a round or so. And then I think Leon starts to fade and starts to get frustrated and JDM puts his foot on the gas and pulls away and gets a late round finish, round 4 or 5, something like that. And then as far as the co-main event, Blachowicz versus Ulberg, now that I'm thinking about it, it's definitely going to be the winner of this fight against the winner of Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev, because Jan Blachowicz gave Alex Pereira his toughest fight at light heavyweight, almost beat him. Carlos Ulberg, very fun stylistic matchup for Alex Pereira with the city kickboxing style. That would be, and also being an Israel Adesanya's teammate, there's a little bit of a story there as well. So I was just thinking about the other day of Yuri fighting the winner of this fight, but now I'm thinking Yuri against somebody else or Yuri against the loser of Pereira and Ankalaev, because I think Blachowicz or Ulberg, that's a fresh name. I mean, I know Blachowicz has been champ, but it's been some time. I think Ulberg or Blachowicz is kind of a refreshing name to throw in there, potentially against Alex Pereira. And if Ankalaev wins and it's Blachowicz, they're rematching their draw, and then Ulberg would potentially be another opponent that would be fun. But if it's Ankalaev, I could see them doing Yuri against Ankalaev. Just saying. But I think in a dream scenario for the UFC, Pereira wins against Ankalaev at UFC 313. That's the same month as this fight. It's about 2 weeks before this. So I think the winner of Blachowicz and Ulberg is lined up timeline-wise in the UFC's eyes to fight Alex Pereira, either a Blachowicz rematch or an Ulberg booking, which Ulberg versus Pereira would be such a fun fight. Blachowicz would as well, but I kind of think it'd be really cool to see Ulberg with the Izzy storyline as well. So that's my thoughts on the UFC London card coming up and the massive welterweight main event that could be a #1 contenders fight at 170 pounds to see maybe who fights, maybe even Islam at some point. There's Shavkat, Bilal, Islam Makhachev moving up. There's a lot of moving pieces with the welterweight title, and this just makes it a lot more fun. So let me know what you guys think down below. Who wins between JDM and Leon Edwards, and who wins between Ulberg and Jan Blachowicz? Thanks for watching this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. It really helps me out a lot. If you want access to bonus content, become a channel member today by clicking the join button on our channel homepage or the link down below this video. If you're interested in some non-MMA content from me, go check out my podcast, What's Up Bro, with Wyatt and Bo, in the link down below. Go watch this suggested video, and I'll see you next time.